Hi, good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Julie Drago, AIFD CAFA. I'm from Pure Event Designs, a division of Peter and Paul's Gifts. It's just wonderful to be here this evening. I'm so excited about um, the what we're going to do this evening. So tonight we're celebrating autumn and Halloween. So this is the use of a lovely pumpkin. Fall is one of my most favorite times of years. I just love the colors. I love the leaves. I love the trees. I love the mood. I love the weather this time of year as well. So anyway, let's get started because it's going to take a little bit of time to carve your pumpkin, or at least open it up so that we can start. What we're going to do, I've asked you to purchase a medium size pumpkin, medium to small. It's totally up to you. So what we're going to do is make a floral arrangement in it. Now, a lot of people will use the Oasis foam and so forth, but I find an easy way to do it is just use a glass cylinder. It could be a drinking glass. It could be even a plastic glass, but as long as there's enough space to put your floral in. So take your knife or your pumpkin cutter, or if you have some tools, and just cut the opening in the top of the pumpkin. So we're going to take out the stem. And you don't have to use an orange pumpkin. There's so many beautiful pumpkins out there. There's all those white pumpkins and the gray pumpkins, the ugly pumpkins. And it doesn't necessarily have to be round too. If you have a pumpkin that's off-centered and it has, a higher mound on one side, so carve that out and put your arrangement to the one side, leaving your stem in. You don't necessarily have to do it in the center. So we're going to work on this. I'll be honest, I cheated a little bit. I did cut it up just ahead of time, just so I could get a little bit more. And again, you don't want to cut it much bigger than your glass is. I have a 6-inch glass that has a 3-inch opening. So that's pretty well my stem here. So I've taken it out. Okay. And if you look, I'm not going to clean this one out. You don't have to clean it out. Actually, leaving the seeds and the pulp inside it will actually help balance the glass. So this case, the glass sits and inserts absolutely perfect. Oops, I'm spilling the water. Let me just get you. Okay, so you can see I put the glass right into the center. And mine fits just perfectly in there. So that's a 6-inch glass. And this is a good sized pumpkin that you can work with. So I'm going to leave it at this level so you can see what I'm doing. Now, you can go to your local market and you can pick up beautiful bunches of flowers this time of year with sunflowers and daisies and roses and all sorts of greenery that you could use in your floral arrangement. I also love to add roadsadia. Roadsadia basically is just product that you find outside. Okay, so I've picked some ornamental grass. Beautiful. I even cheated and I picked some out of my neighbor's urn. Some nice cattail grass. Okay, I picked some pine from my own tree in the backyard. I have a 60-foot pine tree, and I've collected some pine cones from my pine tree. I picked some beautiful fall foliage. So your market bunch might come with greenery and you may not want to use all this additional greenery or flowers. I picked some beautiful dogwood as well. The coloring, the variegation on that is absolutely stunning. And the red stems that it has, I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful. Curly willow. Curly willow is a plant that you can buy and just stick it in the ground and water it in the springtime, and it will root and flourish into a gorgeous tree in no time at all. Just keep it away from the foundation of your house. It does have really, really bad roots that can crack your foundation. So way back at the back of your property, and you'll have curly willow for years to come. Okay, so I like to start. I've added my water. You saw my glass had the water in it. And I like to start by adding my greenery. So I've cleaned away anything that's going to go into the water. So there's no actual foliage in there. Okay. And what we want to do is kind of balance our design. So cleaning away anything that's at the bottom. Okay, move it around. Let's use some of that beautiful beech nut here. I did pick some fire plant out of my garden, but I think it's a little too late in the year and it's just shedding like crazy. But the red on this is beautiful. If you had used this around Thanksgiving, it would have been stunning because it would have been fiery, fiery, fiery red. But right now it's losing all its leaves, so I'm choosing not to use it. Okay, maybe a little bit more pine. You could strip the bottom of the pine. I don't know if you could see it. Just strip the bottom of the pine with your hands, or you could just take it and just strip it, cut off all the needles that are going to go into the water, because those are the ones that are going to rot your water and create bacteria. Now this would make a lovely centerpiece for your table. It would for any dinner table. We can put candles around it and celebrate a little bit of Halloween, putting it on your porch. Okay, so I've kind of just added a little bit of a foundation. Okay. So now my market bunch, I had some beautiful blueberry roses. That's the color. So roses are named for their color. So this one's called blueberry. If it was a lighter purple, it could be a curiosa or an ocean song. The shade of pink that it is also the name of it would name the rose. So you would know by the name what color, what shade it was. So what I'm going to do is first start with my heavier flowers. You might have a hydrangea in your market bunch. You might have a sunflower in your market bunch. This one here, I have some dianthus, some beautiful green dianthus. And I'm going to use those. Nicely cushioned. And again, just make sure that you're inserting into the water. Okay. I've got here some beautiful pincushion protea. This one's native of Africa. Usually we get it from Africa. And again, I'm just going to kind of make myself some nice groupings. So they're very visual. I usually just strip down, if you have a garden glove, I just usually just strip the greens that are below the water level with my hands. You could use a knife. If you wanted, you could just scrape it down and just scrape off the leaves that are below the water. Okay, so I'm going to use these gorgeous calla, mango orange callas. Gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Very, very long lasting flower. Okay, I have a couple of those. I'm keeping my flowers tight and letting the actual foliage create the negative space in this arrangement. So I'm giving it weight in the center because the pumpkin's heavy, and I'm airing it out with the extra branches, the foliage, the grass. I better use some of my neighbor's grass since I took it out of her pot in the front. She didn't notice they were missing. She had plenty. Okay. Okay. So a couple of the blueberry roses, nice dark intense purple. Your pine cones. Pine cones are gorgeous. You gather them, they're best gathered in the springtime because that's when they fall off the tree. You can keep them in your shed. They will, if they get wet, close up, but as soon as they dry out, they'll open up again. Quite simple. So they're very beautiful that way. Now what I do is I use just a florist wire. A 21 gauge is usually good enough. And I wrap it around the base, going in between the wood petals of the pine cone. I'm just twisting it, tighten it up around there. So now I've created a stem, and I can insert it And you know, wood is beautiful this time of year. You could also use a wood pick. They're also available readily at Michael's or any of your florist supplies. And you could do the same thing as add a wood pick to it. Okay. So I have some more blueberry roses. When these open, they're absolutely magnificent. They have a head size on them that are about maybe 3 to 4 inches wide. Um, and they last very long lasted. It's a cabbage type rose, so it has a good density to it. Now, I like to go and collect my rosadia product even on a trail. You can go into your own backyard. I went into my backyard this weekend, and there was so much there that was still beautiful. There was sedum, there was lamb's ear, there was the red fire bush, there was curly willow, there was pine. I had just like immense product to choose. I could have made a whole floral arrangement out of everything that was in there. And you know, and I appreciate the fall because it's like saying goodbye to your flowers and giving them their last life. You bring them in and you put them in a vase. Okay. Okay. The dianthus, which I used, the fluffy furry one, it's in the carnation family. A lot of people don't know that. Again, as carnations, extremely long-lasting florals. You can they last probably 3 weeks in water as long as you change the water frequently. So same with this. It's not that you could just put it up on your shelf and say, hey, you know what? You know, leave it there and let it. It needs to be changed. The water needs to be changed. And if you do it every 2 days, give it fresh, clean water and maybe a little bit of a recut. And it's probably very easy because it's in water. You can easily pull it out, recut them, change the water in your vase, and then just reinsert them. Oops, I lost my pine cone, but I have another one. Okay. Now, there's many ways you could actually carve the pumpkin or draw on it. There's plenty of decals that can be purchased for the front of your pumpkin. You can write Happy Halloween on the outside of your pumpkin. You could get strings of battery operated lights and put them through the foliage and the flowers. So they'll be illuminated through the whole evening if you're putting it in a window or on your patio in the front, right? So, okay. So I have more beautiful ornamental grasses. You could put them in one by one. You could put them in groupings. In groupings, I find things a little bit more intense. So you get a better kind of visual. They create more of a movement with your lines because it's not just one off, it's just a grouping of it. So you actually can follow it through your floral arrangement. I'm just looking at what else I brought, a little bit more pine. Make sure that all sides of your floral arrangement are decored, especially if you're using it as a centerpiece. I've got some beautiful yellow daisies. They're florets, so they're very tiny, probably the size of a loonie or a toonie. Now, this one's very, very, very branchy. So these bottom ones would probably get lost in your floral arrangement and they're too short to insert. So just remove them and set them in their own little vase. They'll last you again, very durable. Mums are one of the just as nice as carnations when it comes to longevity. So you can get easy 2-3 weeks as long as you change the water. No one wants to sit in dirty bath water, right? So So color like a yellow just makes all your colors come to life. So if you have a sunflower, you would have put that in at the very beginning, your sunflower, um, just because it's very faded and heavy. So it would have ground your arrangement. It would have been one of your deep setted flowers. My daughter was at a pumpkin patch and she brought home some sunflowers, but had still the sunflowers that had the sunflower seeds in them. So she removed them and baked them and boiled them. I think there's a whole trick to doing those. So she did bring them home and she baked them. She boiled and baked them and salted them a little bit, and they were so delicious. I've never had such fresh sunflower seeds. Usually, you buy them at the store, but yes, it was quite a treat. You figure you've done everything, but there's always something new. I'm also using a flower called craspadia, and they're little balls of yellow, very hard. Okay. You can hear them knocking on my head. I don't know if you can hear them. Again, putting them in a group will create a little bit more intensity. And now when you have such a high volume of flowers now in there, you just want to make sure that you are inserting them into the water. Something like the craspadia, that's one of the flowers that will dry out and look exactly the same when it's dry. So you don't have to, if you don't hit the water with the craspadia, it's okay. Eucalyptus is also beautiful greenery, nice fragrance. And I'm just going to put it in to create that negative space. I'm going to turn it around so you can see all the angles. I'm filling in all sides. Okay. Now, if you like floral design, like especially creating stuff from your garden or from a trail, all year long, you can do this. I have hydrangeas I grow in my garden, gorgeous hydrangeas. I'm always picking them because I need to enjoy them and see them all the time. And though I do sit in my garden quite a bit, when I have the opportunity, I definitely love to pick them and put them on my kitchen table because that's the most frequented spot in my house. Just want to clean this up a little. I don't want to make sure I don't throw my knife in the garbage. I've done that several times and then had to go searching for it. Some of your market bunches, if you've purchased them at a grocery store, will have also dried oak leaves, preserved. Now, the good thing about this is that they don't have to go in water. So you can place them. You can extend them with the wire if you needed to, but you can just use them to color. And I do need to put the extension on that. You can use your wood pick or half a wire. That would be enough for this. You would secure it with the copper wire that's attached to the wood pick. You would secure the stem. And again, you're not worried about putting this product in water because it's already preserved. Now, by putting it in deep into the floral arrangement, you're creating amazing depth. So you have to look into the arrangement to appreciate its beauty. Now, the pumpkin probably inside your house, you'll probably have the same length of life on it before it starts getting too soft as your flowers. So if your flowers do outlive your pumpkin, it's easy just to go get another pumpkin and carve it out and just keep replacing what needs to be replacing. Because like I said, some flowers like the florets, like the protea or like the calla will be there for weeks, at least 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe your rose won't be there as long and you want to replace it. Just keep your water changed and this is one arrangement that you can utilize from all through September and into October, no problem whatsoever. You might want to get some just plain twigs as well. Maybe have those trees that have totally lost all their leaves, but the twigs are always beautiful. So you can use the ones that have the leaves and just strip off the leaves. create your twigs if you don't have twigs. So as you see, I'm inserting things and making sure that I have a good balance. So I have a good focal point. I make sure that there's a balance of flowers on each side. It doesn't have to be the same flower as long as it's weighted the same. Okay? So like the pine is very heavy, and so are the callas on this side. So they kind of balance each other out. I have some beautiful Caspia as well. Nice filler. Again, I would remove anything that's low and then just create a small arrangement with whatever's left. Maybe put it in your bathroom or maybe in your nightstand. You know, there's lots of places you could put flowers. I put them in my living room. I put them in my bathroom, my powder room. I put them on my coffee table, my end table, my kitchen island, wherever. And I divide them up. Like I buy my bunches and I divide it up so that I have flowers all over the house. I very much enjoy them. Okay. So I've added a little bit of the Caspia as well. So I've got great depth in there. I got such a variety. I don't know if you can see how intense the colors are here. I've used the roadsadia, a little bit of dogwood, some pine, the ornamental grass, the twigs, the beech tree. So you have a little bit of everything. And then you have all your little florets that you had left over. I'm just going to move this pumpkin to the side. Okay. And you're going to strip them down and we're going to create a little bud vase. Can you go get me a bud vase? Thank you. Okay, so it's almost like making a little hand tied. I'm holding them so all the heads are about almost paved. Okay, then I'm going to tuck in whatever I have left. Maybe I have some beautiful little grass left over here that I picked outside, but the landlord doesn't know. He has plenty of it. And they're going to be cutting it down soon anyway, so it actually is nice that I can use it. Okay. I have my ends of the Caspia as well that I cut off. It's so sad to see any flower wasted. So as long as you have a little tiny vase, I'm going to raise that up a little bit so you can see it. Oops. Okay. So fill it with water. And what you do is so I cut them down so my ends are all even. Okay. And then just insert them into your little bud vase. And now you have a little floral arrangement to put in your bathroom or on your nightstand. Very pretty. And again, just change the water. So here we've created two beautiful displays. Just remove some of this. Oh, I did want to use my curly willow. And I'm stripping off my curly willow. This time of year, the leaves just fall right off. So it's just a matter of just pulling on them and they come off. So you're left with some beautiful twigs. Very characteristic, like they have so much character. You just want to just enjoy them to the fullest. You could do something very simple with this. So I'm going to take the one end and insert it into my arrangement. And then I have this other end, which I'm going to take one of my picks or a wire. And I'm going to tie that in. And I'm going to bend it around the front. And there I've created another layer of flowers to look into. Okay? So quite simple. Enjoy this time of year. Enjoy your pumpkins. I'm going to put my pumpkin back up on the display so you can see it. Okay. A little bit of pine cones, some calla lilies, some dried oak leaves, preserves, some curly willow, blueberry roses. You have your little florets. You have your pincushion protea. Okay, lots to see, and it's a great conversation piece when you're sitting at a table, even if it's sitting on your buffet in your kitchen. Okay, and your little small one that you can enjoy either on your nightstand or in your powder room. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask or give us a call. Um, Definitely enjoy it. And I think that would be it for the evening. I thank you very much again for letting us be here tonight. Again, I'm from Pure Event Designs from Peter and Paul's Gifts. Thank you again.